I never thought that I would say this ever. Literally ever. Because the team that I'm going to be talking about this video has been bad for so long. They've had young players, and before that they had James Harden, and they could never make a deep run in the playoffs. I am, of course, talking about the Houston Rockets. And the Rockets are finally looking kind of good, which is scary because they have one of the youngest teams in the league. Pretty sure the youngest, but don't quote me on that. And they're just so stacked. I mean, their roster is Amen Thompson, Jabari Smith Jr., Jalen Green, Alperen Sengun, Kevin Porter Jr., Tari Eason, Jayshawn Tate, Kenyon Martin Jr., and Cam Whitmore. Cam Whitmore, who fell to 20 after being projected a top 10 pick. Guys, I'm going to be breaking down the entire roster this video and how they're probably one of the most scary teams in the NBA in 3 years. Alright, first player I'm going to be breaking down is Amen Thompson. Because Amen Thompson, he just got drafted out of Overtime Elite, which is, it's weird. I don't really know the situation with it, but he got drafted and he's a great player. You can watch his mixtapes, you can watch any one of his games. He averaged 16 points along with 5 rebounds and 5 assists last season and 2 steals. So he's a shifty guard with a ton of athleticism. He's also pretty tall, 6'7", which means that he's athletic, he can jump, and he just looks like the next coming of Ja Morant, if I'm being totally honest. Next, we have Jabari Smith Jr. When he got drafted last year, I had very high expectations for him, and he fell a bit short of those, but that doesn't mean that he's not a good player, and the progression that he might have this offseason could be crazy. Next, we have Jalen Green. Jalen Green is honestly one of the best athletic guards in the league. His only problem is that he can't defend at all. But if he can pick up his stride on defense and hit the 3 ball a bit more, he can become one of the best players in the league. And I can't believe I'm saying that, but the potential is definitely there. Next, we have Alperen Sengun. And oh my god, guys, I love this man. He is such a good player. He's like 7 foot something. He can score really well interior, and he also spaces the floor pretty well, which just makes him a great player. Also, he's a pretty fast runner, and his game just looks really smooth, so he's a really good player. Next, we have Kevin Porter Jr., another explosive young guard. Do you guys see the pattern? Everyone here is explosive and young. They can all jump, they have crazy athleticism, and none of them are particularly short. Everyone's over 6'5" in this roster. Next, we have Tari Eason. I don't know much about him because he didn't play much this season, but he seems to be a pretty good player from when he played. Next, we have Jayshawn Tate, same story with him, and Kenyon Martin Jr., same story with him. But now we have the second draftee of the night, one that was expected to go much higher up, and somehow he fell all the way to number 20. I am, of course, talking about Cam Whitmore. There was an apparent knee injury, which he denies having, but that made him drop all the way down to 20. He is another young explosive guard. He's huge, if I'm being totally honest. When he's driving to the basket, he's not trying to slither around. He's trying to take the ball and posterize a defender. He's one of the most intense competitors in the draft, and he will not back down from anything. He needs to get a bit better because he gets tunnel vision pretty fast and has a very bad assist-to-turnover ratio, but he's only 19. And this is a common thing for the roster. All of the players that I talked about are under 23 years old. Imagine what happens when they hit their athletic and physical prime and their NBA prime. Guys, this team is absolutely crazy. It's a dynasty in the making.